welcome back to my channel. So happy you're here, and I am so happy to be here and to give you guys an update. As you can see from the title of this video, I've got a few things I want to discuss today. But let's start with maybe the not so positive. So I don't know about you, but I am just ready for 2023 to be over. I cannot wait for 2024 to be here. I know everyone says like, don't wait for the new year, don't wait for the new year. I want to close the book on 2023 so bad and just be done with it, because this has been by far one of the most challenging years I have gone through in so many different aspects of my life. I don't want to start this video off negative or like in the slums, but I do want to be honest with you. This year has been a tough one. This year in particular, I have felt very misaligned with my values, with my career, with my friendships, with the way in which I feel internally, the way in which my body presents itself, my habits. There's just been so many things this past year that I've been like, wow, that really is not who I want to be in 2024 and moving forward in my life. I've never felt so far from myself. And it didn't actually really hit me until probably a couple weeks ago when I realized the spiral I was going down in my health. Not that it's severe. Like, there's so many other things that people have to be faced with that are definitely more severe with this. Before I even say what's going on, I'm aware this might seem very minuscule to the average individual. However, myself, I'm very, very in tune with my body. I know when I'm about to get sick. I work very, very hard to not get sick, and I have the knowledge of what to do to get to the best place of my health. And this year, I have not utilized my knowledge, my time, my abilities to the extent I needed to, which wound up with a lot of sickness this year. I've had several colds this year, but what topped it off was when we got back from Mexico. So if you guys remember my last video, I put out Christmas Decorate With Me, and that was an early Christmas Decorate With Me because we were leaving to go to Mexico. Anyways, we go to Mexico. One of my best friends got married. It was beautiful, absolutely stunning day. She was the most beautiful bride. So happy I got to be a part of that day and to celebrate their big day because it was so beautiful. However, the aftermath of coming back from being in another country isn't something that not enough people talk about. But when we got back from Mexico, got a terrible cold, but I actually dealt with severe constipation coming back from Mexico. And this was something that was triggering for a few different reasons. One, like if I don't have a bowel movement every day, I panic, because when I was a kid, I suffered from severe constipation, like to the point where I wouldn't even be able to go to school. Like, it was severe. I was medicated. It was like a very uncomfortable time. And I really think that like traumatic time as a child has contributed to a lot of my digestive issues and other issues, which we won't get into. But that time, or like when I'm constipated, it takes me back to my childhood, and it was not a great time. So it was very triggering for me in an emotional state, in this like trauma response of being constipated, and it's just uncomfortable. So if I go like a day without a bowel movement, I panic. Guys, when I tell you it was 15 days without a full bowel movement, I was desperate. Like, I was not desperate to the point of going to the hospital, but I was trying so many natural things possible. Stomach massages, teas. I was drinking a lot of coffee to try to get, like, sometimes that, well, actually most times that would give me a laxative effect. I was up to 1,700 milligrams of magnesium citrate. Magnesium citrate. So if you've never taken magnesium citrate before, what that form of magnesium does is actually bring water to the bowels so that you can get things moving. I did a sauna. I did a couple different like detox, like laxatives. I didn't even have the urge to go to the bathroom. I just was not eliminating for 15 days. From there, during those 15 days, I had a really bad cold, really bad sinus congestion, and I could just not get my sinuses to drain. I didn't have, the big C. My only symptom was that my sinuses would just not budge. Then I had a little bit of chest infection. Then I had an eye sty that was massive and my eye swelling was huge. Then I got an ear infection so bad that I literally was in a fetal position crying. Shay woke up from his, he was on nights, woke up and he was like, I don't know what else to do for you right now. I was literally eating Tylenol and Advil extra strength every 3 hours. I had eardrops, and then once one ear cleared up, the other one started. It's just been like one thing after another. I had this knee injury that happened this summer that's presenting itself. It's kind of put me on hold for a few other things in my life, and it just, when you already feel like you've had a tough year and then the last 5 weeks of the year is just like, once you're down, you're getting kicked down again. I was like, I cannot do this. And I don't understand how people constantly live in that cycle of being unwell, feeling unwell, not getting better, not making changes to their life, and just thinking that they're gonna get better. This last year, I feel like I have just been kind of going with the flow. I haven't really been working towards anything. I've just been doing whatever comes my way, and it's really led me to a place, like I said, where I just don't feel myself. I feel like I'm just not aligned, my values aren't aligned, but I also cannot think clearly. I can't even tell you right now what my values and what I want in life right now because I feel so congested. I feel congested in my body, I feel congested in my home, I feel congested in my work life, I feel congested in my friendships and my relationships. Everything just feels thick, congested, stagnant, and I just cannot move through 2024 feeling like that. Other people might be able to do that, but I want to be my best version of myself in 2024 so that I can find out what my values are, so that I can be in alignment with who I want to be and who I want to show up for on here or my clients or my relationships, my friendships. I don't want to feel this way any longer. So with that being said, I think 3 or 4 years ago when I launched this channel, I talked about how resolutions aren't for me. And I want to say before I go into the next part of this conversation, they still aren't for me. However, I am looking at 2024 as the year of finding myself again. And I really want to make some drastic changes in my habits day to day, the way in which I treat myself, my body, my mind, the people that I interact with, how I decide to spend my time, everything from like how many hours I work. If you know me, some weeks it's 60 hours, some weeks it's 30 hours. Some things are just, every week is kind of different for me. It is a luxury of being a business owner as you can make your own schedule. But that will also shift in where I spend my time. And there's just some things I really want to question. Is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? Is this worth my mental capacity and load? And if it's not, my God, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. And I hate to say that because it could even mean friendships. It could even mean clients. Like this year is a year for not feeling this way. And I say this in the mindset of I need to make this happen. I know it's not just like tomorrow I'm going to feel myself again, but I just know that I'm going to need probably at least a year to find myself again and work towards that. So what I am going to do in my next video is talk a little bit more on how I'm actually planning out my year, because I'm not saying this year I'm going to do this, and this. I'm not laying out my 2024 goals that way. I'm actually looking at the next year on a quarterly basis and assessing the most important top priorities of what I find is misaligned and what are like I really want to work on. So an example of that would be my mental health. That would be one of the most important aspects of my well-being that I want to work on in the first quarter of 2024. I also want to work on nourishment. Of course, I want to work on movement and having things fall naturally more into my routine. I want to work on my finances. I want to work on goals in my relationship, but those all can't happen in the first quarter. So how I plan on doing this is taking what's a top priority, what's something that I can actually put into play in terms of the action steps to reach that goal, starting in this quarter, and then something that might be put on the back burner might not be till the next quarter of the year. So I foresee this being more of like a series throughout the whole year and doing kind of that check-in on those quarters and what those, priorities are. But in my next video, I'll talk more in depth about what my priorities are, what I'm working towards for a few reasons. One, maybe that will inspire you to say, is that in my life in alignment with what I want to carry through for the next year? Or is that something else maybe I should look at trying to reassess in my life moving through this year? Also, it's going to make me feel more accountable to not just Shay or not just, whomever else is involved in what that priority is, but also to you as well. As I said earlier, I feel like there's so many areas of my life that are congested. And when I woke up on the 26th of December, we still had one more Christmas day with Shay's side of the family, and I didn't want to interrupt that energy of Christmas feeling, but all I wanted to do was take down my Christmas decorations, because I just feel like anything that's extra that I can see, that I'm exposed to, seems like another layer of congestion. So what this video is the very start to how I am planning to roll out in 2024, and that is with a clean slate in my home. There's just a lot of things that will happen in this space that I really wanted to make sure was set up before 2024, so that there wasn't a ton of things that were feeling congested. So the Christmas decorations, they've got to go. I mean, I could keep my tree up until January and be so happy, because I love the lights. I love the feel of Christmas. But as I said, I just need that congestion of anything that's busy or distracting to be gone. And I knew that was something on my to-do list, was to get the Christmas decorations down. If you're watching this weekend before we roll into the new year and you're thinking, what's the first step I should make to getting set up for 2024, before we even talk about goals, because I know we always want to do it on January 1st, but it could be January 15th. It could be any time in January. It doesn't have to be the 1st. But I can't stress enough, create the room in your life so that you can think clearly on what those goals or the values or what you're working towards in 2024. So clean your house. Okay, get the Christmas decorations down. Maybe declutter your closet. Maybe if you have a home office and stuff has just been piling up, try to get some of that stuff out of there. If you have a work office and you just have piles of papers and shit that needs to be filed, just do it as fast as you can, as easy as you can, get it out of the way so that there is less things distracting you and you can think clearly. So that is what this video is. I'm gonna take you through a quick little declutter of my house, get rid of all the Christmas stuff. And also, I'm not gonna set up for the spring. I'm just gonna let my house try to be in the bare bones of just plants and candles, so that, again, there's no clutter, there's nothing out. So my house is gonna look quite bare for a little bit, but I don't care, because that's not where my energy or my mind needs to be. It needs to be open and clear and just ready to take on 2024. Let's get into it. Okay, Christmas decor is collected and put in the bins, and it feels so good. I'm just going through a quick little wipe down of all of the spots that had Christmas decor on them and starting to do just like a surface clean. I know I said I was going to do a deep clean of my house for a video, but this is not that video. One, I don't have the capacity to do it, but two, I really only do that deep clean in the fall and the spring, and I don't feel like my house is quite there. But I'm going to do a little bit deeper clean of my kitchen because we had a little unfortunate event happen the other night and our Instapot exploded. It is Shay's fault and he is taking the blame because he was screwing around with the seal top, but the aftermath of it exploding left chicken water from the Instapot all over the kitchen. I have never seen water fly like I did out of that pressure cooker. It was insane. It was on the edge of the island and it hit the fridge, it hit the back wall, every part of the ceiling in the kitchen. I was sitting on the couch and it hit me. It flew everywhere and there was so much steam. The whole ceiling was soaked. So I just figured while I was at it and in the mood today, I would try and get all of this chicken water off of the ceiling and the cupboards and every area in my kitchen. It was disgusting and very funny while it was happening, but also it shook us like crazy because I've never seen so much steam, and that much steam can be pretty dangerous. Anyways, now we're just moving on to the floors. I have asked this question before, is like, how often do you mop your floors? And I told people I do it 1 to 2 times per week, but that's because we have 2 dogs. But I just hate having paw prints and dirt and dust on the floor. I just can't stand it. I will lose sleep over it. So 1 to 2 times a week, I will mop my floors, and it just makes me feel like a new human being. So here's a reminder, mop your floors at least once a week. The candle is lit, which means the house is clean. If you know, you know. I'm going to wrap up this vlog here, guys. Thank you so much for being here, listening to what's going on, and I'm really looking forward to a positive, healthy, and wholesome 2024 with you. So I will see you guys on my next one.